All right, let's get started of our call for today. And today we are going to be very, very specific on our topic. We are going to be looking at how to compound your money. Welcome to today's call. My name is Julius. I will keep this Zoom a little bit short and precise to the point. So I'll just give in some 2 minutes and then we rock and get started. I'm just giving in some few minutes, then I start. Let us look at compounding, one of our major topics we need to discuss. We want to look at compounding, how to grow our money, and that's the major topic for today. If you are ready and you are listening to me, drop me one in the chat. If you're ready to learn and you're able to listen to me, drop me one in the chat. That's the topic for today. And I believe I'll be able to use the shortest time possible to be able to deliver the message, and also to be able to make sure that by the end of the call, everybody is comfortable with the strategy, and then go and use it to grow your money. So we are just getting started. So if you have someone you want to invite, I would basically say the time is now. If you want someone, there is someone you want to invite, the time is now, because once I get started, basically I'm just going to roll through very fast, and I'll keep this Zoom as short as possible. And then I'll come to the end of the call. So I'll not stay long because I'm just going to be specific. I'm not going to go around everything. So I'm just going to keep it on topic. And then after, I'm going to come to the end of the call. So I would basically request that if you want to invite someone, basically the right time is now, because I'm going to be very specific with my topic for today. Very specific. Sure, I'm going to be very specific. All right. So right now. Okay. I hope I'm gonna be sharing my screen. So I think I've given in enough time for patience in case there was someone who wanted in case there's someone who wanted me to be patient. I think I've been patient enough. I believe now it's the right time for us to start. Unless there is anything else, but I would like to get started. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's call. And today we are gonna be very, very specific. And like Coach Mopioa shared in the morning, I may not be able to repeat everything he shared, but the goal for today is our major topic, 3% 300x. What is 3% 300x? What is it all about? And how you could be able to benefit from the 3% 300x could be the major topic that we are discussing for today. The 3% 300x strategy is one of the amazing strategies I have ever made. When we came up with this strategy, me and my friend Leader Rubet of Team Superstars, we discovered that if there was a way someone could decide to change their lives, if there was a way someone could decide to get their lives to another level, then they should have a strategy. And as a person, I believe that winning, you come up with a goal, but you also go an extra mile, and you are able to get your goal into specific measures. So that's why we came up with this strategy, the 3% 300x. And the reason why you are here, or why I'm here tonight, is to just dig a little bit better for someone who's ready to make this happen, for someone who's ready to see this grow, for someone who's ready to see that this becomes their reality, for someone who maybe has $100 and would love to see this money become more than $100, for someone who maybe has $1,000 and would love to see this money become more than $1,000. That's why I'm here today. And I hope you can be able to see my whiteboard. If you can be able to see my whiteboard, give me one in the chat. I'm trying to make sure that my whiteboard is visible. And if you can see my whiteboard, give me one in the chat. Good, beautiful. Okay. So the reason why we are here, ladies and gentlemen, is to look at this strategy called 3% 300x strategy. We just want to be a little bit specific. It is the strategy that makes the crypto ambassadors visible in the market, and everybody in the team is supposed to be able to learn it, then go and apply it. Now, what is this? Basically, I personally believe that before you do anything, you must have a goal. If you want to be successful in Royal Q, you must be able to have a goal. What do you want to achieve? One, from the two aspects of trading, one, the robot trading for you. Okay, what do you want to achieve? I've spoken to so many people, and people tell me, I will come up with my goal. What's happening with Bitcoin? I'll come up with my goal when I make the money. But if you want to win, ladies and gentlemen, you need the goal first. And the goal must be smart. The goal must be specific. The goal must be measurable. The goal must be attainable. The goal must be realistic. And the goal must be time-bound. Now, there is a challenge in business and in entrepreneurship that someone makes money in trading, which he now understands, and removes this money from trading, and then goes in for another business. Then, the time he was giving his business of trading, diverts it to the new business. Because this person wants to do what we call diversification. I'm not here to attack anyone, but I'm talking about entrepreneurship. When you make money in trading, I would advise that maybe, it's not financial advice, instead of you starting a new venture, which maybe you don't know about yet, this is gonna kill your time. You either invest your money where you understand better than starting a new business. That's why one of my leaders asked me that, where do you invest? You go and invest your money in assets. Okay, let me explain. To become a successful entrepreneur, you need a cash cow. Now I'm explaining goals. A cash cow becomes your main business. This is why many people miss out. Now, when you discover and say this is your main business, it's your cash cow. When you make money from your cash cow, you do not go and take your money to a business that needs your time. You go and take your money in assets. Okay. Then, and you look for assets that do not need your time for them to give you money. When you take this money from your cash cow and you invest it in businesses that need your time and your presence, your cash cow goes down. I'm talking about goal setting. I'm talking about result orientation. Now, your goal must be specific, okay? For example, now do not make money from your cash cow and go and invest your money in liabilities. Liabilities are things that take away money from you. You invest in assets. You need to invest in your assets. And when you invest in your assets, the best way to invest, ladies and gentlemen, your own money, when you set up your SMART goal, you go and invest your money in your cash cow. Now, let me also explain. A lot of people are making money in crypto trading as a business, but they don't reinvest in their business. When you make the profit, I would advise you to reinvest. You may not reinvest everything. I'm not going to go into percentages here, but I want you to reinvest in your cash cow. You reinvest in your cash cow so that your cash cow could give you more money. Give me one in the chat if you are following and learning. Actually, I do not teach this. I don't teach this. Please, I don't add anyone to any group. Use your uplines. My role of coming here is just to deliver knowledge, not to add anyone to any group. My role is just to share. Use your uplines, please. Now, I would advise you to reinvest your money in your cash cow. Do not take all your money from the business. If you want the business to give you more money, do not fight the business. It needs to be your cash cow, because once you discover the business to be your cash cow, it becomes your main business. Now, there are three things you have. You have time, you can have money, and you can have skills. Now, use your skills and your money and your time to make more money. Do not take your money and start other small businesses. No, I'm not fighting you guys, but I'm telling you reality, because I've seen so many people He has learned the skill. He started with nothing. He has learned the skill. He has made the money. Then he removes his money from here, and then he goes and starts a small business, which is okay. Now, this business needs his time. This business needs his energy, but this business needs new skills. So now he invests time in this, and the cash cow goes down. Give me a 3 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Now, many people say that for them to be successful, they need several sources of income. But I want to ask you guys, people say they need several sources of income. What do you know about these guys? I need some answers in the chat. When I type the name, you tell me. When I type the name, you tell me. I'm going to write just a few names. What do you know about Elon Musk? When someone talks about Elon Musk, what comes into your mind? When someone talks about Elon Musk, what comes into your mind? When someone writes Elon Musk, what comes into your mind? Some answers in the chat. Good. Tesla. When someone talks about Mark Zuckerberg, what comes into your mind? When someone talks about Mark Zuckerberg, what comes into your mind? Facebook. Yes, these guys have other businesses. These guys have other businesses. But you will discover that before Elon Musk diverted, he had been able to create a major cash cow. I'm green. A major cash cow. When we talk about Bill Gates, what comes into your mind? When we talk about Bill Gates, what comes into your mind? The first thing, what comes into your mind? Someone talks about Bill Gates, what comes into your mind? Now, it is important. Microsoft, thank you. The rest of the things came after Microsoft had become stable. Now, some of you are making money from the business, but because you do not create cash cows, you immediately remove your profit from the business, and then you take it in other businesses. I don't know if I'm making sense. I usually give an example of my friend. My friend was called Peter. I'm talking about 3% 300x strategy. My friend was called Peter, and Peter had a salon, and he was very good at shaving hair. Now, I used to go to Peter's salon time over time. Now, time came, and Peter's salon, yes, it was good. Peter used the money he got from the salon, and he started up a Uber business. So when I went to Peter's salon, Peter had started the Uber business. Now, at times he would be on the salon, the other time he would go in for Uber. So I asked Peter that why wouldn't you get the money you invested in a Uber, make your salon better, to have better services, to have better machines, nice looking, a good ambience, and you'd increase your fees. You know, I no longer shave my hair from Peter's salon because Peter's salon is now not good enough for me. It's now not good enough because Peter is no longer available on the salon and is no longer 100 also available in the Uber business that he started. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here. Peter is not making money in all ways, but not only is it that Peter is not making money in all ways, the most important thing, the salon has gone down. The reason is simple. Peter has not yet defined his cash cow, his main business. Now, when you decide to take crypto to be your main business or cryptocurrency trading to be your main business, listen to me critically. You treat it like a business. You understand your goals. You make sure that your cash cow is eating so that it could give you enough milk. Are we learning, guys? Let me know. You make sure that you are providing grass, you are providing water, you are providing a good sleeping environment to make sure that your cash cow, you are taking care. That's the most important part. You must take care. You must take care. You must take care of your cash cow so that it could give you milk. Stupid is a farmer. Stupid is a farmer. My mentor, Jim Rohn, says, stupid is a farmer who stands in the middle of the garden and saying, you garden, why didn't you give me more maize? Yet he did not plant a seed. He did not plant the seeds in the garden, but is busy standing in the middle of the garden, asking the garden, why didn't you give me more milk? Why didn't you give me more maize? What I'm trying to express to you guys, you are making the profit, but some of you are just milking a cow that you don't give grass. Give me one in the chat, guys. Just give me 1 minute. All right, sorry for that. I hope I asked for a few minutes. Unexpected, but we move. Now, like I said, you need to provide to take care of your cash cow, to make sure that your cash cow is eating so that it can give you milk. Now, how does this apply in business? Because I see someone is saying, I don't understand what he means. This is what I mean. When you make profit from the business, do not take the whole money. I know some of you joined the business and you have financial issues, but you find someone, he started the business with $100. This person has been able to make over $2,000, but this person still has $100. Now, the other issue is, do not become excited with investing in crypto. Do not get excited with investing in crypto, and then you transfer your capital into the investment because you want to become rich faster. Am I making sense? Give me one in the chat. You want to become rich faster. Then you push your capital from trading to investing. You'll find that you are waiting long and things are not happening. If you want to invest, you invest your profits. But you don't invest all your profit. You invest a certain percentage of your profits. The most important thing is to make sure that your cash cow is getting enough grass to give you more milk. Hello? Are we following? Now let's get to the strategy. Now your goal must be smart. If you don't have a goal, there's no reason why you are in trading. Do not trade unless you come up with a goal. A goal, why do we plan? Why do we plan? It's important. Because I know some of these things are not taught anywhere. Why do we plan? Why do we come up with? Why do we plan? Why don't we just trade? Why is it important for us to plan? Planning kills distractions. Planning kills distractions, friends. And I'm not a pastor, but God provides to someone who has a plan. If you don't know what you are going to use the money you want to make for, you cannot get the money. Whatever comes to you is distracted, but you need to come up with a goal. And the goal I asked here is how much? The goal is specific. How much do you want to make? That's the first question, how much? Now, the second question is, what are you going to use that money for? You're just not going to get excited. What are you going to use the money for? If you don't have what you're going to use the money for, the money is not going to come. Now people are saying this command, this command. What I tell you is reality. Now, before you start trading, how much do you want to make? Someone is saying your network. Is my network very poor? Or you can hear me? Now, the 3% 300 strategy. The 3% 300 strategy is a strategy that says, Peter, you're going to start trading, but how much do you want to make? How much do you want to make? What do you want to use this money for? That's, I want to make $100,000. And I want to take this money and I'm going to use it, one, maybe, to real estate. I want to transfer this money into real estate, for example. I want to transfer this money in investing in crypto. I want to buy crypto assets. I don't know if I'm making sense. I want to buy crypto assets. That's what I want to use my money for. So I want to make $100,000. I want to invest my money in real estate. I want to invest my money in crypto assets. I want to purchase assets. Then, if you are clear about your goal and you are clear about using the money for, then the journey starts. The journey starts. Now, as the journey starts, as you decide to start the journey, now you are ready, you know what you're going to use the money for. Now the journey starts. It is called a journey. It is not called a destination. It is called a journey. And the journey is not a straight path. It has ups and downs. So although the strategy is called 3% 300x, the strategy is a journey. It's not a destination. It is a journey. It will have ups and downs. And these ups and downs, they are divided into two. One, controllable factors. And non-controllable factors. One, what are controllable factors? Controllable factors, these are factors you can control. One, wallet management. Wallet management. You can manage your wallet. But non-controllable factor, market movement. Point number two, good coin selection. You can control good coin selection. It's a controllable factor. When to trade and not when. Not to trade. Guys, do you know that non-trading is trading? Can I get an answer in the chat? Do you know that non-trading is trading? Some of you usually fight your capital every time you want to have a coin that is in the market. But sometimes you don't need to be in the market all the time. When you make profit, rest. It is not by force that every time your money must be in a coin. Give me one in the chat if you're understanding what I mean. It is not by force. You are not chasing anything. Nobody can finish money in the market. When you get your 3%, settle, cool down. But some of you, after making some profit, you become too greedy. You want to be in the market all the time. And sometimes the market catches you. You have taken 5% on people coin. Then you go in with all your capital. Why? Because you have decided not to work on a controllable factor called discipline of trading. You think you're going to hit this target without discipline? Yes, Julius, I want to continue trading this coin because I see it is pumping. I want to keep on making money. I've taken 5%. Can I go in again with another 10%? Are you normal? Are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to yourself? Are you on strategy or you are just in the market? It is a controllable factor to have discipline in trading. And one of the reasons why most people struggle to achieve their targets and their goals, they lack discipline. The discipline to stick to say, what I've made is enough for now, and you take a rest. Why? Because you do not control the market. If you are following, give me a 2 in the chat. If you're following, give me a 2 in the chat. I just want to speak to your hearts, because whenever I speak just to your minds, you do not understand me. And really, I don't like the way some of you approach the business and then have issues. Now, since now we know some factors that we can control and some factors that we cannot control, I would like now to put my so much focus on the strategy. Now that you have a goal, now that you know what you're going to use your money for, now that you know why you are here, let's get into the strategy. The strategy involves in one, good coin selection. Let me explain. Many people ask me, why don't I teach cycle and I teach one shot? Ma'am, you're tired. Eh? No, Brian. No, good. Yeah, mom, no. So, why do I teach one shot and I don't teach cycle? This is how the robot works when the market is moving up. Bye, baby. Thank you for learning. Okay, why do I teach one shot and I don't teach cycle? This is how the robot works. The robot buys here. So it buys, when the market rises, it sells. It buys again, the market rises, it sells. It buys again, the market rises, it sells. Buys again, the market rises, it sells. It buys again, the market rises, it sells. It buys again. So if you're not going to monitor the coin, now it buys here and the market starts going down. It buys, it buys, it buys, it buys, it buys, it buys. By the time you come back, all your capital is in the market and you are into floating loss. That's why I don't teach cycle. Cycle can only work if you are going to monitor the coin. Give me one in the chat if my message is home. If you're not going to monitor the coin, me, I would not recommend to trade with a cycle, because that's what will happen. You'll get caught at the heel of the mountain and you stay in the coin forever. And I have those issues, and I don't want my team to get into the same issues all the time. The reason why I teach one shot, and that is very important. We want to trade. I'm going to deposit a small video. We want to trade one shot. The robot buys here, it sells here, and we are out. And how much does it sell? 3%. Now we want to take this 3% 300 times while compounding. We want to take 3% 300 times while compounding. And by doing this, we can be able to now move $100. Now that's where people now miss it. Now that's how we are going to move $100 to $100,000. Now I'm going to be very specific. But remember, guys, yes, we want to turn $100 to $100,000. But I want to ask a question. Do we control the market? I have a question. Do we control the market? Do we control the market? It's a non-controllable factor. So yes, we want to turn $100 to $100,000 in something we do not control. So what are we supposed to do? Number one, control your emotions. I bought the coin. My heart is jumping out. I feel bad. The market is against me. Control your emotions. I have a question. Is it possible for us to control our emotions on how we feel about the market? Some answers in the chat. Is it possible for us to control our emotions on how we feel about the market. I usually say that trading is how you feel. Trading is how you feel. How you feel when the market goes against you. And when you are in profit. I've seen people, which is okay, me, it's none of my business. I've seen people who enter a coin and they feel like this coin is going to give them more. Then they pause it. It hits 3%, but for them, they need like 100%. It pause the coin, it moves from 3% to 10%. And they continue pausing it because now they believe it can go to 50%. Then it goes to negative 10. Have you had these issues? Have you had these issues? You enter coin, you see it is giving you 3%, then you pause the coin, then it goes to 10% because you want 50%. And once it gets to 50%, now it drops back to negative 10, and you enter floating loss. And since then, you are waiting for the coin is not returning. The reason is simple. You are not working on your emotions. How you feel when you are in profit and how you feel when you are in losses. And the factor is simple, guys. The factor is simple. If you want to achieve a goal, if you want to achieve this goal that you want, this is your goal. How do you get to your goal? Your goal only happens skills, if you have the skills, plus the plan, plus the strategy. If you don't have a goal, even if you have so much skills, even if you have the skills but you don't have a plan, and if you don't have a plan and you don't have a strategy, you never achieve your goal. Especially here. Now, the skills, here I'm talking about picking a good coin. And how do you pick a good coin? You can attend our classes of 7:30 a.m. and learn to pick the coin by yourself, or you use our signals. If you have used any of the two and it has worked for you, let me start with the 7:30 a.m. How many people are here? You have watched maybe our videos on YouTube or attend our classes live and you are benefiting? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. How many people are here? You have either watched our videos, Esco Junior says it here, Ryan says here, Leader Biba says here, Nkugwa says here, Sampo says you have benefited, and now you can be able to trade better. So you can either take this or use our signals. Any of the two. I was listening to this girl who's abroad. She's only trading. And because she has a goal, she was able to buy for herself a house. And some of you are in business, nothing is happening. You have a cash cow that you are not willing to give grass. And you need the milk from the cow. I know people don't like such trainings. You know, people don't like people who talk in their wounds. People don't want people who are pouring salt in their wounds. People want people who are smoothly speaking to them. Simple as that. You want the money, but you are not willing to do what brings the money. Can you wake up? I'm very busy. Thank you. What are you busy about? You have been busy for the last 30 years, but you are still struggling financially. I've given this business 2 years and 11 months. I'm doing financially well. Is there a difference? You have been on your job for the last 15 years where you say you are very busy. You cannot create time. Some of you have been on jobs for the last 30 years, but you are still struggling financially. Every day you wake up, you need to look for money. And you have somewhere where you can get a skill plus a plan plus a strategy to make you financially free, and you are not willing. You say, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. But I have a worry you might die while still busy. And it will pain me. Because me have done my work, but you're not willing to do your work. Now, back to the key. Now, the goal is a variable. Now, the skill is a variable. Now, what's the plan? Now, here is where most people miss out. The plan is according to your capital. Listen to me, guys, very well. According to your capital. For example, let me do this. According to your capital, listen to me. You have $100. You say, with my $100, I can divide my $100 into 5, and I will get $20 5 times. Listen to me very well. $20 5 times. $20, $20, $20 5 times. And you say, I will trade a maximum of 3 coins a day. And these things are simple. First time, second time, third time. The rest of this money will stay in my wallet unused. It's the plan. And when I say I'll trade 3 coins a day with my $100 on this strategy like this, I will say 2 of this money, the $20 of this money, I will trade it with the preset signals, and the last $20 I will trade it with current price signals. You come up with a certain amount of money that will say, when there will be a pumping coin and I will be online, this money, I will use it for that. It's a plan. The rest of this money, I will not touch it. I will have the discipline that even if they send 100 coins with the current price, unless this sells, this is not for today. Give me one in the chat if you are learning. And unless you have these characteristics, unless you have this plan, or unless you are going to be a gambler, you're going to stay in this business for a long time without results. Now, there is also another problem. Now, there you are managing your capital. Now, yes, what about another one says, I have $100, but me, I'll trade 1 coin. Now, here you will trade with no margin calls on strategy number 1. No margin calls. But strategy number 2, you will say, I will divide my $100 into 6, and $16 will be my first buying amount. And I will open up the 6 margin calls, the 5 margin calls to the bull run strategy. And so, in strategy number 1, this one, you will use 20 as your first buying amount, and it will compound 5 times. In strategy number 2, you will use 16 as your first buying amount, and this is what you will compound. Let me move next. Now, what if I have more than $100? What if I have $50? $50, it's the same. You can divide your capital into 3. $50. I divide my capital into 3. And I get how much? Around $15. So this 15 that I've got, how many signals will I trade? 1. I remain with 2 times untouched. So maybe I'll use one of these to trade current price signals, and I leave the rest of the $15 unused. I don't know. Am I making sense? Let me know. Am I making sense? Unless you work on this, the business will forever, you will be blaming the business. Now I have $200. I have choice. I could divide my $200 into 3. All I will say, I'll go in $100 one coin, $100 one coin. So I trade 2 coins, 1 coin per day. I only enter another coin when one has sold. It takes discipline. Now I have $300. I'll trade 3 coins, 1 coin per day. Or maybe since I have 300, now maybe I could trade 2 coins. 2 coins. When one sells, I use my remaining. You must have discipline. Now, Julius, I have $400. Yes, I could divide my $400 into 3, trade 1 coin a day or 2 coins a day. I have $500. I could divide my capital into 5. I trade 5 coins, $100 per coin. But here I'll be making little money. So I'll get my $500, divide into 3. And each coin, I will attack it with $166. Am I making sense, guys? Are we learning? Are we learning? Now, that's the normal bull run strategy. That's the normal bull run strategy. Julius, what about if now I want to change my approach? Okay, now I have $1,000 and I want to trade $1,000 per coin. Another one says, me, I have $1,000. I'll divide it into 5 and I'll trade $200 per coin. Same capital, different mindset. Same capital, different mindset. Now, what if I say, now that is the normal way. What if you're a little bit greedy? You can say, I have $1,000. I'll use the super bull run strategy, which is either 40% of your capital or 15% of your capital to be your first buying amount. So if I take 40, my first buying amount will be $400, and the rest of my money will help me in margin calls. Or I will go with 15% of my capital, which is $150 to be my first buying amount. Then the rest of the money will help me in margin calls. Now someone is about to ask, what about me who has $2,000? The same formula. You will say, me, I will trade, let me say $1,000 per coin. All I have $2,000. I'll divide it into 4. And I'll trade $500 per coin. Are we learning, guys? $500 per coin. It means I will expose $500. Then this I will go with 15% of $500, which is $75 to be my first buying amount. Hello? Are we learning? I'm about to finish. So no one should get worried. Now, what are we looking at now? Yes, we have a goal. Now we are looking at a plan. We're now working on a plan, and the plan is wallet management, because the only thing we can control. Now, let's look at this strategy. $500. Our strategy says we are taking 3% as our take profit. 3% as our take profit. So it means when the market rises by 3% and comes down by 0.1, the robot is supposed to sell. Simple as that. And our strategy, like it was taught in the morning, it operates on 5 margin calls. People usually ask me, what about there are people who open 10, 100, 1,000? It's their own business. Me, it's not my business. I have reasons, but I think I need to spend time here and share those reasons. Let me share it this way. We can have the same capital. If I trade for 15 days in a month, by the way, you may not be able to make profit per day. I usually do not squeeze my robot so much for profit per day. I usually look at the overall performance of my robot on a monthly basis. I usually look at the monthly performance of my robot. I usually look at how my robot has performed on a monthly basis, not on a daily basis. For example, if I have $1,000, because that's what people don't see. If I have $1,000 and I'm compounding, and at the end of the month, the business has given me $500. Am I in business or not? My capital is 1,000, and at the end of the month, I have made $500. Am I in business or not? Some answers in the chat. My capital is 1,000, and at the end of the month, I've made $500. Am I in business or not? Now, the challenge is that most people calculate their profits per day, and they get annoyed. And they say, me, even if I make 0.1 per day, but if we get 0.1 per day per 30 days, it's as if you don't have money. Yes, I might delay in a trade. I take 3 days, then I make $50. I spend 2 days, then I make 25. I spend, let me say 1 week, then I make 100. Am I in business or I'm joking? Am I in business or I'm joking? Let me know in the chat. Now, why do you get yourselves on pressure that you are demanding the business per day, yet you don't have enough grass? Because if you have enough grass, according to what we have discussed, you'll be able to trade more coins. More coins equals more what? More coins equals more what, guys? More money. Why do you get annoyed when that I'm making little money? You are giving your cow 1 bowl of grass, and you have 1 cow, but you want 100 liters of milk from 1 cow. Is that practical? I just want to speak to you guys. Is it practical? Let me know. You have 1 cow, but you want 100 liters of milk from 1 cow that you give 1 bowl of grass. I want us to be very realistic with the business. Okay, right. Since now we have the same mindset. Now let's get to business. Let's get to business. Now, I would advise anybody on the call to raise their capital at least to $1,000. This is not financial advice, but I have a question. Who's here and you are interested to start at least $25 a day, or after 2 days, $50, $100 a day? If you are here, give me a yes in the chat. I would advise everybody on the call to at least raise your capital to at least $1,000 as your capital. I'm not saying people who have $100, you are not in business, but you are still joking. You are playing too small. I'm not saying you are very bad people, but you are playing too small. You are so jokative. You are joking in a business that could pay you $25, $50, maybe in 2 days, maybe in 1 day when the market is good. For example, guys, no, floating, when it comes to floating loss, you just need to work on your wallet management. And that's what I have just discussed. I'm going to just make it a little bit better. If I have $1,000, I have 3 decisions. One, I could divide my $1,000 into 5 and I trade each coin with $200. Give me one in the chat if you have understood this. And so this $200, I have a choice to say, I will go in with 15% of $200. Or I have a choice to use the super bull run 40% of $200. Give me a 2 in the chat if you have understood. Or I could get $200 divided by 6. Give me a 5 in the chat if this is clear. I'm not going to teach you how to set coins. I divide by 6. I get the first buying amount. And these are your decisions. Or you could use this formula. You could say, I have $1,000. You control your greed. Then you say, I'll trade 1 coin. $1,000, 1 coin. $1,000, 1 coin. And so how $1,000 times 15% of my capital, which is $150 to be my first buying amount. And when the robot buys, I will come and edit my first buying amount and return it to $30. Then I open up margin calls, either 5 or 7, any is okay. And in the multiple buying ratio, I will use the 5. Then I switch on the AI margin call so that I do not overexpose my capital. So how much will I be compounding? $150. Now let's go to the calculator. If you have understood, give me a 2 in the chat. And now I want to go to the... So if you have $2,000, you could say $1,000 per coin. So if I have $2,000, I'll trade 1 coin a day. And I leave the $1,000 unused. If this one doesn't sell today, I'll use the 1,000 the next day. I want us to understand that more capital, bigger playing space. More capital, bigger playing space. Now, I've finished the plan. Now, I want to go to the strategy. So I'll share my screen. And I'm just going to go to a calculator. I just want to go to the calculator now. Okay, this is an iPhone. And there are so many compounding calculators out there. If you're having an Android, we have already recommended one. I request all Crypto Ambassador leaders, V2s and above, and you have an Android phone, is it okay for you to drop us the Android calculator on all our Crypto Ambassadors groups and Telegram groups? Thank you. Now, I have $1,000 and I'm using 15%, and my capital, my first buying amount is 150. I'm taking 3%. And I'm gonna go in for 300 times, not days. I go in with my capital and my profit, 100%, and I start today. So today, the date is 15th of May, 2024. Why is my calculator not working? Okay, let me see. So I'll go in with 150. I take 3%. I go in for 300 days. I go 100%. Okay. Do you know that just focusing on $150, not thinking about margin calls? I want everybody to see this, because unless you see this, you'll understand how powerful the strategy is and how you could change your life. Do you know that without me not thinking about margin calls, the robot only putting in $50 without buying a single margin call, if the market rises and the robot sells, do you know that me only compounding $150, I'll be able to make 1.61 million? 1 million. Now, I also have a question. Is it possible, if it is not trading, to buy a coin with $1,000 and turn it to $1 million? Let me stop sharing. Is it possible? Let me know in the chat. Is it possible? Is it possible? No, let me repeat my question, because I think people have not understood me. Is it possible to get $1,000, you invest it in a coin, just buying and keeping, and it turns to $1 million? Let me know. Guys, let me tell you the stone fact. It is not easy. What you see on TikTok and YouTube that these guys talk about, that someone invested $1,000 and turned it to 1,000x into $1 million, you must be, now let me tell you a stone fact, you must be online 24 hours, 7 days. There is a group of token searchers I'm on. Since morning, these guys are on. I can even play for you the music in the background here. Guys, they are on. They are on the market since morning. I woke up at 4 a.m. The guy has been here and he was saying, if you want money, you don't sleep. It is not easy. I'll tell you a stone fact. Since 5 a.m. in the morning, the guys are online. My brother, my friend. This morning, they have not found any jam in the market. And they're here. It's a group. I just leave my PC on. And up to now, they are on. It is not a joke. You need to invest in a lot of hours and time to find one. So, when you decide to make $150 your first buying amount, I want you to understand that you are going to make more than that. I have a question. Is it possible for a coin to drop after you have bought and the robot buys more margin calls? Let's say your first buying amount was 150 and the coin dropped, let me say by 0.2, it rose by 0.1, your AI is on and the robot bought, let me say here, and it is 5, because I use multiples of 5 times 30, it puts in another $150. And if this, some of you get annoyed when coins drop because you want coins to deliver very fast. But you discover that if the coin buys more money gets in and your profit becomes huge. You see, if I had started with $150 and I change my first buying amount back to 30, and the coin drops and it buys here, then it drops, rises and it buys here. Well, then it drops, rises and buys here. It has bought $150 here, $150 here, $150 here. So this is 300, 450 plus, that's $600. And whenever the coin drops, it pulls the average price close at the current price and you move out faster. But you're only compounding 150. So what do? This plus your profit on the next trade. Like that, 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 like that. At the end of the cycle, you'll have more than $1 million. But understand that at times things will not move your way, and you will need to wait a little bit longer. You will need to wait a little bit longer. But we are where we are going. The market is getting better. You need to wait when the coins don't delivering. That's why I say, that's why I share the business. Then if you fear to go in with $1,000 per coin, divide by 5. Then go in with $200 per coin. Am I making sense? Give me a 2 in the chat. If you fear to go in with $1,000 per coin, divide your capital. Let me say 1,000 divide by 3. Then what you get, go in with that per coin. Give me a 3 in the chat if you're understanding. But if you are strong and decide that to be your strategy, stick to it. Stick to it. So now, hope I've done my part. I just want to wish you a good night. Unless there are questions, I would like to listen to your questions. But I hope I've done my part. And I hope if you follow, you'll be able to profit like others do. And then you follow the Buran strategy. I was just sharing the strategy and how you compound your money. So let me get into your questions, and then I'll call it a day. Yes, Anthony.
Yes, greetings and good night. I know it is afternoon over here, Jamaica, but I know it is night where it is. All right, what I'm really definitely saying now, pertaining to, you say $1,000, right? To trade $1,000. Say, I wish to say, trade half of that, $500 and $500 on the next coin. Will you think it would be more easier for me that way?
Okay, so if you want to go in with $500 per coin, understand that sometimes when the market goes against you, your waiting time will be a little bit longer, all right? Okay, so I would say I have $500 per coin, all right?
Yes.
I want to be a little bit aggressive, so I would say 15% of this to be my first buying amount, which is around $75, right?
Yeah.
My first buying amount will be $75.
Yeah.
When my robot buys, I'll remove the $75 as my first buying amount and return it back to 15. All right?
Yeah.
I'll make sure that the AI margin call is on. Then on the multiple buying ratio here, the AI margin call must be on. The AI margin call must be on. And do you know why it must be on? The answer is simple. The AI margin call is just preventing your robot not to just invest in your money whenever the market just drops. So if you don't switch on the AI margin call, when the market drops, the robot buys immediately. And this could cost you because it can finish your capital in just a blink of an eye.
Okay.
So I'll return, after the robot has bought, I will make my first buying amount back to $15.
Oh, so always turn on AI margin call, right?
Yeah, it must be on. The margin calls and the AI margin call must be on, brother.
Well, I never know. All the while I trading on, even I collect the market sell, I never yet put it on AI margin call. I thought my upline at me said, don't use that.
Now, let me explain the AI margin call to you, my brother Anthony from Jamaica, so that you understand.
Yeah.
Just look here. We have set our robot. And when we are providing settings to our robot, we provide two settings. One, what should the robot should do from our entry here, and the market goes up, and that is our 3%, and our callback of 0.1. That is one. But we're also looking at the other side when we enter from here and the market goes down. All right. And that's where we come in with margin calls. And these margin calls, we usually say in our strategy, there are 5. And if someone uses this strategy of 5 and doesn't switch on the AI margin call, they put their man at risk. Now, the margin calls that are 5 are going to be configured into what we call margin configuration.
Yeah.
How should the robot buy these 5? And in our formula, they are divided into 2: margin call drop and then multiple buying ratio. Now, the first call says 0.2. But this 0.2 has a buy-in callback, which I think you know, of 0.1, which means when the market drops by 0.2 and it rises by 0.1, the robot is going to put in the multiple. For your case here with 15, it is 5, right? It means immediately here, the robot will put in 5 times 15 is around $75.
Yes.
Remember, in the other formula, we are just putting 1, you remember?
Yes.
But we are still putting in like 1 because we are still putting in the same first buying amount. You understand? Just now with the bigger money because we have more capital. Now, it buys. But if the AI margin call is on, all right, the robot will say the market has dropped by 0.2, risen by 0.1, but is this the real support? Because the market can buy here, and immediately after buying, it drops again.
Okay.
So when we switch on the AI, the robot, if the market drops again, if the AI is on, instead of it buying here, the robot will buy from here.
Okay, so what the last thing I want to ask now, being as you told me that, said AI margin call to be turned on. If I am on a floating right now, and I post it without turn on the AI margin call, could I turn it on just now?
Anytime.
Okay, I understand.
But at the same time, you could be just smart, okay? The margin calls are 5, all right? And you say, let my robot first buy at least 2 or 3, then I switch on the AI. Because when the AI is on, understand there will be delay in buying more.
Oh.
Simple as that.
Yes. Well, thanks for this update anyhow. I'm just waiting to recover from my floating loss just now. So as soon as I recover from it, I will do likewise as well.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, guys. Anybody else with a question? Thank you so much, Anthony. And good afternoon from that side of Jamaica. Okay, someone says, can we divide the capital into 2, compound and another? It's up to you. It's up to you. Me, I've been able to share the strategy. It's up to you on how you can work on your capital. Does the position quantity change when the robot sells the fixed call in the sub-bin mode, real-time settlement? Yes, it does. Yes, it does, because it has sold what had been bought before. Definitely it changes. If you don't want it to change, definitely you can put in the sub-bin mode, because there, once the robot sells, it will use your profit to move the average price closer to the current price. This lesson has been a mixture of salt and sugar, but finally it turned to be sweeter. This is not as usual lessons. Big up Jamaica. Oh, the guy was specifically coming for Anthony, not me. He wanted to say hi to you, maybe. Okay, I still want to learn more, but time. We cannot stay here for the whole day because of please repeat on that AI thing. I'm still confused. What are you confused about? I want to start Royal-Q. What is the minimum amount apart from the 120 subscription? People have tried to reply you. 120, start with $50. Someone has recommended $50 as your capital. Okay. Hope I have only the AI margin call question. Okay, let me explain. You make sure the AI margin call is a new feature that prevents the robot from just buying in the market. Okay, let me explain. When we started the business, you set up your robot. Okay, you say first call 0.2, second call 0.5, third call 0.3, third call 0.5, fourth call 1, fifth call 1. I have a question. These are just settings. Can you prevent the market from buying these? Some answers in the chat as I come to the end. Can you prevent the robot from buying this? Do we have control? If the coin has not sold, remain patient. Do we have control about this? They are just settings. The robot can buy them and the market doesn't sell. Because I've seen people who open 50 margin calls. When you open these 50 margin calls, it's a good deal. But who of us has a guarantee that the robot will buy them or the robot will sell them? Do we have any guarantee? No one. No one has guarantee. So you would find that during a severe bear market, the robot buys everything from the market. So that's why Royal-Q said, let's come up with an AI margin call. Unless there is too much bad news. But when the market drops by 0.2 and it rises by the buying callback, which is 0.1, it is supposed to buy here. But the AI margin call will come in and your robot will say, AI monitoring. What is it monitoring? It's monitoring to see whether this coin has reached a nearby support. I have a question. If I buy from a nearby support, and for you, this is the support, and for me, I buy at the nearby support, and for you, buy anywhere, who of the two of us has more chances to have bought at a good area? I have a question. For you, I just buy. I'm using the AI to help me buy at a nearby support. Who of the two seems to have bought in the right time? Some answers in the chat. The one at the nearby support. So the AI margin call, if the AI sees that this market is going to reverse, it will not buy. It will allow you, instead of buying here, it will buy here. I have a question. Is it important to switch on the AI margin call? And that's why if you don't switch on the AI margin call and use this drop, which is 3%, the robot will buy these 5 margin calls of yours in just a blink of an eye, and you will very fast enter floating loss. You will very fast enter floating loss, and you might stay in for long. But when using the AI margin call, the robot will not put your money very fast in the market, and you'll be able to compound slowly and grow your money. All right, guys. Bitcoin is at $66,000, guys. Okay, unless we now get into trading. Unless you say now, Julius, let's get into trading and find some coins for you to make some money. I could give in some 5 minutes and I could do that for you.